You're the biggest liar in the history of YouTube, sheepy. You were gone for like 2 months and your banner says new videos monthly. What the frick? Why you always lying, you two-faced lying son of a...
Shut the hell your mouth, okay? I travel somewhat regularly. The time I traveled recently overlapped at the end of the month and into the beginning of March. And in the middle of... Okay, everybody just needs to hang on to their titties and take a chip. I need to calm down. I think it was because I grew up plopped in front of the TV when I was a kid watching Nickelodeon that I retained a lot of useless information from what I watched. Commercial jingles as seen on TV slogans. I even vaguely remember what certain fast food chains were selling and giving away in their kids' meals back in the late 2000s. So it goes without saying that with so much time spent brain rotting, I saw my fair share of unsettling and disturbing media, to the likes of commercials that didn't quite stick the landing with consumers, or public service announcements that left me feeling scared and empty inside, or even incidents and hoaxes caught on the air. And I figured, well, what better way to share this information with you lot than to make an iceberg chart? So without further ado, let's take a closer look at my iceberg chart, which I proudly titled Weird and Unsettling Media That Aired on TV Both Nationally and Internationally, or Eerie TV Iceberg for short. This iceberg will be divided into 3 separate videos, where layers 1 and 2 will be seen in the first video, layers 3 and 4 will be seen in the second video, and layers 5 and 6 will be seen in the last video. So let's get started. In celebration for the release of their new movie back in 1999, Pokemon partnered up with Burger King to create a line of promotional toys that would go with their kids' meals. Unfortunately, this toy, a Pokeball that could come undone into 2 parts, would claim the life of a 13-month-old baby girl. They didn't take into account the possibility of asphyxiation when the Pokeball wasn't assembled. Anyone at an infant's age can asphyxiate if the top or bottom part of the Pokeball covered their mouth and nose. Think like one of those Easter eggs that has to be snapped together to close. After the death of 2 more children, Burger King released a response PSA urging for viewers who had purchased a kids meal and received this toy with it to either throw it away or to bring it to Burger King in exchange for a free small order of fries. The PSA is on this list for its monotone atmosphere and overall uneasiness that it caused viewers to have.
Burger King and the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission want you to know about the voluntary recall of this Pokemon Pokeball. The ball may pose a suffocation hazard to children under 3. Throw the ball away or return it to Burger King. The safety of your child is of the utmost importance to us.
This one is on the list because when I watched it, I felt grossed out. Also because something about anthropomorphic fruits with faces on them make me feel uncomfortable. It's the same feeling I get whenever I watch Capri Sun commercials or Skittles commercials. It seemed like every big kid-targeted company at the time was giving away some sort of sweepstake, like how Danimals promoted their sweepstakes of spending a day with Dylan and Cole Sprouse, or the Rock the Block sweepstake where the winner would get a block party with them and like 50 of their friends, and it was hosted by Nat and Alex Wolff. That was the dream back in the day. I was a very big Nat and Alex fan, and 8-year-old me would have gone absolutely feral at her party had she won.
Need to redo your room? For a limited time, if you find this certificate in marked boxes, you win $10,000 for a room makeover. Or write in. Many will enter. 2 kids will win grand prizes. 400 more will win their choice of one of these prizes.
Don't even think about it.
Gushers, redo your room sweepstakes.
Okay, so Mac Tonight in general isn't that important when it comes to this iceberg. There's nothing scary about him. On the contrary, the commercials are quite nice. McDonald's wanted to promote a late-night dining for their adult customers, so between the years 1986 and 1997, a series of commercials aired depicting a smooth jazz pianist with a crescent moon for a head singing about coming to eat at the restaurant after 6 p.m.
When the clock strikes 6:30, baby,
time to head for golden lights. Hey, it's a good time for the great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
In the 2000s, Mac Tonight would resurface on the internet under the name Moon Man. Netizen trolls would have taken his image and turned it into a hateful meme. They accompanied this meme with text-to-speech rap songs that were either really violent or really racist. He would later be adapted into a Doom mod. You know, Doom, the already controversial video game, which would also be extremely racist, as you could tell by the visuals on the screen. I have a personal gripe with this short that aired on Nickelodeon between 1989 and 1993, and before anyone says, "But Sheepy, you weren't born yet," I used to have one of those orange Nickelodeon VHS tapes that had the shorts play before the show or the movie. The whole premise of Inside Out Boy is simple. Boy swung over the bars on the playground and became Inside Out Boy. I don't know why, but the concept of this short made me uncomfy. Oh, and while we're on the subject, the orange VHS tapes had bonus content after the movie or the show would finish, and the voice that used to tell us not to rewind the tape also gave me quite the heebie-jeebies as a kid.
Hey, wait! Don't rewind the tape! There's more stuff to watch! For you!
In 2004, this German-based coffee company made a series of commercials for both radio and TV as a part of their Wide Awake campaign. Their attempt to simulate how wide awake you could be if you drank Hefe coffee was shown in these commercials, and they all followed the same premise. A seemingly normal commercial that gets suddenly interrupted by a jump scare. Their most popular one was one of the infamous car driving down the hill commercial. I won't show the entire commercial just in case if you're skittish. In total, 16 commercials were made. 9 that were made for regular coffee, 3 that promoted Hefe Coffee Light, and 4 that were made for radio. This episode of Pokemon is linked to what would later be known by the media as Pokemon Shock. A strobe light scene within the episode that lasted no more than 8 seconds caused approximately 685 viewers to be rushed to hospitals all around Japan, all having seizures after watching. In the aftermath, the Pokemon anime went on a 4-month hiatus, and it morbidly holds a Guinness Book of World Records for the most seizures caused by a TV show. TV Tokyo has since put a warning at the beginning of their Thursday anime block, telling viewers not to sit directly in front of their TVs and to watch it in a room with bright lights. Not a lot is known about this hijacking except that it happened on the Dish Network on Disney Channel while they were on their Disney Junior block. During their running of Lilo and Stitch, there was a satellite feed hijack and 6 minutes of the movie were replaced with, how do I put this lightly, schmadult schmontent, if you catch my drift. Yeah, that's it. That's all. So we all remember our good friends over at Truth, right? You know, the company behind those hard-hitting anti-tobacco and anti-smoking public service announcements that we grew up with. They had survivors of tobacco addiction show us the hard-hitting truth of what it was like when you let the addiction consume you. They relied on a lot of shock value to their commercials to get the message across and scare little kids like me at the time not to go anywhere near that. Truth Body Bags was a public service announcement that aimed to show big tobacco companies, presumably Marlboro and Camel Tobacco, what the effects of tobacco consumption could lead to. According to the signs in the commercials and the number of body bags laid outside of the big tobacco headquarters, tobacco kills approximately 1,200 people a day.
You know what? We're gonna leave this here for you so you can see what 1,200 people actually look like. Keep all them up, guys.
So not only is Smokey Bear an absolute sex icon, he is also the star of many public service announcements made by the Ad Council that teach us viewers not to play with fire and not to use that fire to burn down our forests. He's on this list because despite the messages he pushes forward, the commercials, especially the old ones, come off a bit eerie and bleak in tone. Take a look at a few of them.
One careless second with a match, and America the Beautiful becomes America the Ugly. Please, help prevent forest fires.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
On April 27, 1986, one angry but loyal HBO viewer named John McDougal hacked the HBO network during their broadcast of The Falcon and the Snowman under the alias of Captain Midnight. I guess what had got him royally angry was that HBO had recently turned into a pay-per-view service, and it could now only be watched if you paid a subscription fee of $12.95. He took it very personal and voiced his anger out on the network. The words across the screen during the hijacking read the following: "Good evening from Captain Midnight. $12.95 a month? No way. Showtime and movie channels beware." The intrusion lasted for a total of 4.5 minutes before it got pulled off the air. The news of the hijacking hit mainstream media, and knowing that the authorities were looking for him, he saw no other option but to turn himself in. This 2009 Folgers commercial is dubbed that way because of its very sexual undertones. In summary, it's Christmas, and a brother comes home from West Africa for a reason that's never mentioned. His sister greets him at the door. They both get coffee, and the brother pulls out a box and hands it to her. The sister, in return, takes the bow off of the box and puts it on the brother's chest, looks him dead in the eye with bedroom eyes, and says, "You're my present this year," as they both just stare at each other, and it's weird. Very, very weird. Thank God Mom and Dad came just in time and stopped them before anything bad happened.
I must have the wrong house.
Sister?
Oh, I missed you so much.
They waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, real coffee.
He's here.
I brought you something from far away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Ah, yes, and once again, our friends at Truth make another appearance. They bring us yet another anti-tobacco and anti-smoking public service announcement called the Unsweetened Truth. Back in the 2000s, before PG-13 movies were screened, viewers could watch this commercial starring former tobacco users singing on a parade float about how tobacco companies use sweet-tasting products to make tobacco taste sweeter. The shock value was high, much like most commercials made by Truth at the time.
Chocolate, vanilla, and cinnamon, apple, honey, and berry blend, strawberry, wildberry, tangerine, mango, raspberry, wintergreen. That's how you make cancer sweet. Why do you make tobacco taste sweet? Oh, why do they make tobacco taste sweet?
Here we have the first of many entries of our neighboring country of Mexico. Eugenio Derbez, a well-known Mexican actor famous for his role as Donkey in Shrek Latin America, and for movies like Instructions Not Included, How to Train Your Dragon, How to Be a Latin Lover, and Overboard, had quite the incident on set of a show called La Jugada. For one of the segments, they had a hypnotist come and allegedly hypnotize him, then have him tell a joke, as he is also a comedian. He couldn't get himself halfway through the joke before he broke down crying, and eventually, in front of a live studio audience, peed himself. For a long time, this was lost media, but it was recently found as of 4 years ago, and to this day, we don't know fully what happened.
Arriba y este...
¿Qué le dijo?
Le dice ahí lo sé.
Nervioso. ¿Qué le dice? Que estamos en directo, ándale.
¿Qué pasó?
¿Que estamos?
¿Cómo va? Al final del chiste, Eugenio. ¿Se te olvidó?
Está llorando, mira todas las lágrimas ahí.
No, no está llorando, o sea, yo duerme una estrella. Mantén el equilibrio, tranquilo, ponte de...
In order to promote their fundraising campaign to rehabilitate former child soldiers from the Dominican Republic of the Congo and Burundi, the United Nations Children's Fund, also known as UNICEF, created a commercial that would play at around 9 p.m. in hopes that no children would see it. It starts off like any normal episode of The Smurfs, but it's soon cut short with bombing raids that rain down on them. The last thing you see before the commercial ends is a baby Smurf crying, and a text that reads, "Don't let war destroy the universe for children."
Hey, kom eens Smurfenland, welkom allemaal. Ja, kom naar Smurfenland, een land van pracht en blauw.
Imagine being caught with your meat stick in hand stroking it at an X-rated movie theater. And you're also one of the faces of children's TV at the time. And this incident is the catalyst for people digging up old things about you. This is what happened to Peewee Herman's actor Paul Reubens. They caught him with his peewee in hand and arrested him because of it. This news hit the tabloid and other major news articles back in 1991. He was sentenced to 75 hours of community service and, as a result, had to make a public service announcement against drugs as punishment. Oddly enough, however, this wasn't the only public service announcement that he did. This incident, the movie theater incident, had people going back into his career to see if he had done similar public service announcements. And he had. During the Reagan administration, Peewee was a part of their War on Drugs campaign. That's where we got his infamous crack commercial. Contrary to his child-friendly personality, these commercials depict him in full costume, holding a vial of crack cocaine and talking in a serious monotone voice.
This is crack, rock cocaine. It isn't glamorous or cool or kid stuff. It's the most addictive kind of cocaine, and it can kill you. What's really bad is nobody knows how much it takes. So every time you use it, you risk dying. It isn't worth it. Look, everybody wants to be cool, but doing it with crack isn't just wrong. It could be dead wrong.
Also, looking back, I think it was pronounced Reagan and not Regan. That's all. Thank you for your time. I'll keep this entry short and sweet as I've covered her before. She was actually the subject of my first video, so if you want to check that out, that's up on my channel. Selena Delgado Lopez was a woman who first made her appearance on an ad spot on Mexican TV called Servicio a la Comunidad, or in English, in service with the community. This segment would bring attention to people who were missing all throughout the different states of Mexico. An average spot would give a spotlight to the person's picture, their height, their weight, their age, facial features, and when they were last seen. What sets Selena aside from the majority is that very little information is known about her whereabouts. Furthermore, she became somewhat of an urban legend, mostly due to the eerie feeling people get whenever they see her. Some theories claim that she never existed to begin with and that she was created as a social experiment by Canal 5, the channel Servicio a la Comunidad aired on. Others compare her to the police sketch of the Baton Rouge Slayer, or the Baton Rouge Slayer? I don't know, if you're from Florida, help me out. A serial killer who committed his crimes between 1998 and 2003. Since the sketch looks a lot similar to Selena's facial features, another hoax was created that in reality Selena never existed, much like the first one, and that she was created from inspiration of the police sketch to raise awareness on being safe and vigilant. Okay, this commercial aired in 2012, and I remember it vividly because I was in school, and again, I was glued to the TV. It made me uncomfortable back then, and it makes me uncomfortable now. The synopsis of this commercial is basically, guy sprays Axe Dark Temptation all over himself, and he turns into a literal chocolate man, and makes the ladies in the commercial either swoon or want to eat him. That's it. That's it. Funnily enough, when this commercial aired, I remember in my school they banned Axe deodorant entirely because guys would use it too much to the point that their locker rooms smelled like Axe, specifically Axe Dark Temptation. Anyway, this commercial is beyond curse, and I hate this, and I hate that I memorized it, and I don't want to talk about it ever again. Okay? Bye.
When a cold chill begins to burn at your very soul, that's the sweet touch of love. Oh.
drop of a name begins to sting your very toe. That's the sweet touch of love. Oh, yes, it is. Just the thought of not seeing you would blow my mind.
In 1987, a hijacker managed to infiltrate and take over not one, but 2 TV stations within a span of 3 hours, and never got caught. This happened in Chicago, Illinois. The first incident occurred on the first station during the 9... Someone just screamed so loud, I think they died. Oh my god. I wonder if my mic picked that up. Alright, well, we'll see. The first incident occurred on the first station during the 9 o'clock news, when during the highlights of the Chicago Bears' recent home victory, the signal was interrupted and replaced by this.
Then the defense, which hadn't put up a sack in 12 quarters, finally did.
Later on that same night at around 11 p.m. during a Doctor Who rerun on the local PBS station, the signal was interrupted again and replaced by this.
Some dry
Jesus. What's the way? God is fading. I still see the X. Oh, my pile. Oh, I guess they're a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds. My brother is wearing the other one. But it's naughty. It's got footprints on it. Where are those coming to get me?
This would go down in hijacking history as the infamous Max Headroom incident, named that way after the mask the hijacker wore. It was a mask of a character of the same name from a show that was also named Max Headroom. To this day, we still don't know the motive or the person behind the hijacking. Imagine making a commercial that has zero, and I mean nothing to do with what you're advertising. Not only is the PlayStation Baby commercial confusing as hell, it's also edited in such a creepy manner that if I was up at 3 a.m. with insomnia and this commercial came on, I would absolutely not be able to go back to sleep. Take a look. Well, here's a piece of Gorilla's trivia I never knew I would acquire in life. The UK-based band partnered up with Motorola to make a commercial for their company. While the band itself has only 2 people, the commercial starred one of their fictional members named Murdoch. He played the piano and wore nothing but a pink thong and a Motorola flip phone attached to the waistband.
Corona. Look, I can't talk now. I'm naked.
The Noid itself is a pretty harmless Domino's pizza mascot from the 1980s. He served as a villain in the Domino's universe, whose sole purpose was to destroy pizza, but he could never succeed at destroying the Domino's pizza. It became pretty popular in pop culture, appearing in episodes of Robot Chicken, Family Guy, and having video games starring him released for the Commodore 64 and Nintendo. What puts the Noid on this list is that in January of 1989, a Georgia man named Kenneth Lamar Noid held 2 employees hostage at a Domino's chain in Chamblee, Georgia, for approximately 5 hours. He felt that the Noid mascot was a personal attack against him by the pizza company. During those 5 hours, he demanded them to make pizza and salad. He also demanded $100,000 and a copy of The Widow's Son. He was later arrested, and the hostages made it out alive and safe. Back in 2015, during an episode of The View, Kelly Osborne allegedly didn't measure her words when talking about the candidates for presidency at the time. That's when she said this.
His comments do not help. And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but
they
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
The backlash for this comment was imminent, and she has said time and time again whenever the incident is brought up that she is not racist, and that the only thing she regrets about that day is her poor choice in words. In October of 2009, Richard and Peewee Herman made national headlines when they claimed that their 6-year-old son named Falcon was trapped and floating above Denver in a homemade helium balloon. When the balloon landed an hour and a half later, Falcon was nowhere in sight. Many TV stations, both local and national, waited for the boy to make it out of the helium aircraft, and they were left with nothing.
This is phenomenal news. We've been watching this play out.
I'm watching it, I see it.
Unbelievable.
Brian, what are you seeing on the ground there next to the balloon?
Well, I've got some information that I'm not quite sure how to say it, but I don't believe that they found anybody with this balloon. They backed off. They punctured holes in it to make it non-flyable at this point, but they have not found any child. There was no child on board this balloon at this point.
He was found later on, hiding in the attic inside of their house. Because of this, the Heene family faced a ton of backlash and scrutiny. They both faced a jail time for wrongful use of law enforcement as a result. Later on, it was revealed that they did this in hopes to draw publicity to get on a reality show.